Good morning. It's a windy morning today, but I thought I'd do devotions from the place of where our international block team is doing their trip, which is home. This year's team, consisting of Andrea Tinoco and Ben Lewis and David Hayashi, were told in March that they could no longer go on their 6-week trips. So what are we to do? And I think one of the things that we are working with and they are working with our partners at Judeo is the whole idea of how do I do this trip? How do I do this experience when I can't even go to Nicaragua? And one of the things that I want to illustrate about what happened with them, and I think about for all of us, is this whole idea of resilience. I think that they've really been resilient. I think they've gone through the stage of being upset about not being allowed to go this year. And that was really hard. I think then, how do we take this trip that they were supposed to do in Nicaragua and turn it into something else? Well, we had to kind of reorient ourselves. And as their teacher and the person that's supervising the program this year, we had to take a look at what can we do instead that we could have done in Nicaragua, but we can do now at home. And they're doing a whole bunch of different things right now. One of them is reading. They're looking at different kinds of books. They're finding completing meaningful activities, which they would have done in Nicaragua. And they're looking at the 5 love languages and trying to figure out how to love others, which is one of the things that Miss Weaning always talked about in their trips is how do you love on others and how do they love on you? And then they write reflections and try to figure out, okay, so what? And then now what? And that's kind of their journey. And I want to just share with you a little bit today about what they're doing in that situation so that you can pray for them. They're now 3.5 weeks into their 6-week trip. Let's find out how they're doing.
everyone. Please pray for our friends in Nicaragua so that they can have better education and also deeper understanding in Christ.
Stay home and stay safe. We did.
Remember that God is always our refuge, strength, and constant help through all of our troubles.
And now let's see the video from Edudeo. Have a great day.
God is our refuge and strength.
Une aide omniprésente en cas de problème.
Therefore, we will not fear.
Though the earth give way,
though its waters roar and foam,
and the mountains fall in the heart of the sea,
And the mountains quake with their surging.
There is a river
Whose streams make glad the city of God.
The holy place where the Most High dwells.
Waaqayyo ishee keessa waan jiruuf.
Ella no caerá.
Dios le ayudará al amanecer.
Munlot nation yo abakoyo.
Bon Dieu fait tant dévoiler.
la tierra se derrite.
The Lord Almighty is with us.
The God of Jacob is our fortress.
Come and see what the Lord has done.
The desolations he has brought on the earth.
He makes the war cease.
To the ends of the earth.
Rompe el arco. Et il a rompu la lance.
Il brûle les boucliers avec le feu.
He says, be still and know that I am God.
Quédense quietos y sepan que yo soy Dios.
Rete là, suspend goumen. Connaissez moi-même qui bon Dieu.
Be still.
And know
that I am God.
Yo seré exaltado entre las naciones.
Yo seré exaltado en toda la tierra.
The Lord Almighty is with us.
The God of Jacob is our fortress.
Well, thanks Mr. Groot and to the iBlock crew for that. It was good to see, and I'm glad that you're still making the best of your trip. I'm just on my way now to check out my plants to see if there's an update from the other day. And while I'm on my way there, why don't you check out this video from Know Your History.
Welcome back to Know Your History. This is a story of my grandpa. So that's Ross Robinson. And that medal set that he's wearing right here now belongs to me. I'm very proud of his service. This was the war medal, and it was issued to all Commonwealth soldiers who served for 28 days of active service, in his case with the Army. This was the France-Germany Star. He served on the Western Front and was part of the Essex Scottish Regiment that helped liberate Holland. But this is the one I wanted to focus on today. This is the Canadian Volunteer Service Medal, and it was issued to Canadians, and only to Canadians. And so you see that there are 7 marching figures there that represent the Nursing Foundation, as well as those that served in the Army and in the Navy and the Air Force, the Merchant Marines, the Army Service Corps, and so forth. It was issued only to Canadians, and so you can see that we have the Canadian coat of arms on the back, and on the ribbon, if you actually volunteered and saw service, they gave you a bar to put on your ribbon to show that you were a volunteer and that you had served. So that's the story of the Essex Scottish and the Canadians who bravely volunteered to serve in World War II. Know your history.
As you can see, while you were gone, my plants have really taken off. So once again, just really inspired by Mr. Freeman's segment there, and I hope you are too. Go outside and plant some plants. Well, folks, it's a sad day, Apparently my plants have not succeeded in the way that I thought they would. So I look forward to next week's E-block lesson where hopefully I can get some better planting techniques. I don't really have any inspiring words. I'm just kind of down about my plants. Hopefully this check-in on Marg will cheer me up.
Hey Marg, how's it going?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Back to social distancing.
Oh.
Wash your hands. Sanitize. Don't touch your face.
Thanks. I guess we'll see you later, Marg.
Clean the handle off when you leave.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you, I think.
Good to see you too.
Well, I figured I'd finish the assembly for my bathroom where there's at least some living plants. Why don't we check out to see the live cam to see how Miss Sherman's doing after her devotions. Well, it looks like she hasn't stopped believing. However, tomorrow, don't forget, is a work day, which is a great time to get caught up on your assignments and to ask your teacher for help. So I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on Monday.